Greetings, modern yogis, and I'm Laura. Nice to see you for the first time or many times. Today we're doing Yin Yoga. This is something that is very different than what you would ordinarily think about a yoga class. It's going to be very mellow in pace, but also push you to your edge in a different way. So Yin Yoga is not about stretching our muscles. It's not about getting this good stretch in the muscles. We're actually really focused on stretching the fascia or the connective tissue. So the connective tissue is this continuous webbing that surrounds our muscles, our bones, all the things. It's just this continuous webbing. And what we're wanting to do is add a little stress on that webbing by actually sinking deep into poses, holding them for a long period of time and not contracting our muscles at all, and then releasing it. So this is also, if you have studied any kind of meridians or Chinese medicine, we're working with those as well. So we're going to be doing a pose on each side, and then we're going to do something called a rebound where we just lay in like a shavasana for about 5 minutes. I got my watch. So again, we're not really focused on stretching muscles. We want to stretch connective tissue. And believe it or not, this can really help with your range of motion in the joint areas. Because there's all this connective tissue around our joints, we need to apply some stress. Just like you apply stress on your muscles and then they repair, it's a very similar situation. We need to apply some stress on this connective tissue. How do we get to our connective tissue? I'm about to tell you. So there's a few things to consider about yin. Number one, we're going to be holding these postures for about 5 minutes each, maybe even longer. So really hanging out in these postures for a while. Another thing that I already mentioned is to not use your muscles to hold you up at all. We are trying to use gravity and sink down into these postures. So kind of the rule of thumb in Yin Yoga, if there is a space in between your bed or the ground and your body, stuff it with something, whether it's a pillow, whether it's a blanket. If there's a space anywhere, stuff it with a pillow, anywhere. That way, gravity can pull you down and your muscles aren't contracting. Another thing I want to bring up that's really different, and your ego is going to go crazy, is I'm going to put you into a pose, and then I'm going to say only go to about 30% of your capability. So let's say we're going into like a forward fold of sorts. What you're going to do, instead of being like, I can touch my toes, is to go to about 30%. And then I'll cue you again. Now go a little bit deeper, because we're going to be holding these, y'all, for a while. So I know you're going to go into the first pose and be like, I got this. But please try it out. Go to about 30% of your capacity. And obviously, if it hurts, take the first option I gave you, or if it hurts still, just come out of it. I'm going to try to give you as many options as possible. And I think I about did it. So we're going to be doing Yin Yoga in bed. So instead of doing it in my bed, I pulled out my couch. So it's a pull-out couch. So please hop back into bed, surround yourself with pillows and blankets and stuffed animals, whatever you want, and let's start our Yin class. All right, so I have all kinds of pillows, all kinds of options. If you'd like, you can go ahead and press play on the Spotify playlist that I provided for you, or you could just press play on whatever playlist you want. We're actually going to be starting in Sukhasana, so this crisscross pose. And this is actually going to be one of our first Yin postures. So I hope you enjoy this. It took me years to like Yin, so just give it a try. So what I'm going to ask you to do is take your pillows, or if you have a headboard, that's great, and back your back up to the headboard. If you'd like to put a pillow behind you, feel free to do that. We're first going to come into a more of a broken shoelace. So if you would, maybe extend your left leg straight-ish, and then bring your right leg to a bend. Now you can draw this foot in towards the groin. If that feels like too much, push it away until you feel that comfort. Now notice that there's some space in between the knees. Prop it up with whatever you have. Coming into more of a broken version of this. From here, we're going to sit up nice and tall. Maybe even allowing our gaze to drop. Maybe softening the shoulders away from the ears. Perhaps starting to take in the little noises of the space that you're in. Maybe noticing the temperature of the space. Is there an energy or a vibe to the space that you're in? Can you feel it? Maybe now thinking about the space that you're practicing on. So maybe you're practicing on your pull-out couch or on your bed. Or maybe you threw a bunch of pillows and blankets onto the ground. Think about the space you're about to practice on. Allow the space to feel safe. To experiment and try something new. Maybe start to deepen your breath here. Maybe noticing any obvious aches or pains in the body. Or maybe places that feel a little sore from a workout. Maybe you just got a new tattoo and it's a little bit itchy. Notice all those little things. If it feels okay, you allow the eyes to close if they're not already. I found this beautiful poem by Miss Waid, and she wrote, "There have been so many times I see a man or woman wanting to weep, but instead beat his heart until it was unconscious." I'll repeat it. There has been so many times I have seen a man wanting to weep, but instead beat his heart until it was unconscious. Beat his heart until it was unconscious. My offering for you today during this Yin Yoga class is to maybe give yourself the permission to feel and to release. To maybe feel it in your body. And then try to find softness. To maybe feel something that's emotionally uncomfortable. And then release. Give it away. To feel and to release. If you'd like a different intention for this practice, feel free to set it now. And if you'd like, you can bring your hands into heart center, pressing right palm against left palm. To feel and to release. And inhaling, pressing your sternum into your thumbs. Exhaling, releasing out of the mouth. Again, inhaling, pressing chest or sternum against your thumbs. Exhale, release. From here, bringing your hands down to your thighs. And then taking this broken shoelace in a different form and fashion by straightening this right leg out a little bit more and drawing this left foot in maybe towards the groin. If it's too much on the knee or hip, allowing it to straighten out a little bit. And an option is to stay right here. Another option is to draw that left foot in towards the groin and to come into a crisscross. Maybe a nice loose one at first, or maybe even tightening it up. This is option one. We're right here. Again, if there's any space in between you, stuff a pillow, stuff a blankie. Now, if you want a little bit more, we can come into something different by drawing your legs closer together and bringing your feet more towards your glutes. You may know this as cow face. What I like to do is I have to lift my tush and kind of square my chest off up front. Now, if you have a lot of space between your knees and your cow face, you can always set a pillow right here. What we're going to do next, whether you're in this variation or a nice loose crisscross, is we're going to bow forward. That's why I asked you to bring so many pillows. So in order to bow forward, go ahead and stack your pillows in front of you enough where you then go to about 30% of your capacity and you start to roll forward. An option is to lower down to your chin. And again, coming to your 30% capacity. You can go a lot deeper, but you're not going to go yet. In this loose shoelace variation, go ahead and come back to that intention. What do you feel? And can you release? Where can you soften? Where can you release? If you'd like to go a little bit deeper now, you can put your hands in front of you, press into the palms, maybe releasing one of your pillows, and then maybe folding forward, coming into a deeper variation, or maybe not. It's your choice. It's your practice. Again, trying to really release any muscular tension. I'm going to be holding my neck up slightly so I can project my voice, but for you, choose maybe your left or right cheek, not using any muscular tension if you can. Really trying to get into that connective tissue. The goal here maybe is to feel it in the outer hip, especially on the left side. Maybe you feel a release in the lower back by folding forward. If you feel any pain in the left knee, know that you can always take that foot further away from your groin and maybe straighten it out a little bit. You do not have to come into complete stillness here. You can always adjust. Please always adjust. To adjust, that means you're feeling. To move it to be more comfortable means you're releasing the pain. From here, press into the palms, press up into a more straight back. Remove the pillows. And what we're going to do is come on this on the other side. So whether you're in a really tight shoelace or cow face, go ahead and release that. And bring the opposite leg up front. So I'm straightening my right leg out a little bit more and drawing my left knee in a little bit more. Oh, no, reverse that. Reverse that. So if you're coming into more of a tight version of this, you'll take that right foot over the left, draw that right foot in towards your glute. I like to grab a hold of my ankles, square myself off to my knees, and first come into this nice tight shoelace variation. Again, stuffing anywhere that needs it. Now, this is not comfortable for many people, and that is the case. You come into a nice Sukhasana or just a looser shoelace. Know that you can always break your shoelace, always. We are going to fold forward, so come into whatever leg variation is comfortable on your hips. Looking around, making sure that there's nothing that's above the ground that you can stuff. And then start to make that little pillow in front of you, almost like a mattress that you can just kind of lean on. I like to bring things close into my belly so it captures my chest and stomach. Bring as many pillows as it takes for you to be able to maybe bring your forearms here. And first sitting up, not going down all the way. Remember, about 30%. Know that you can always adjust. Know that it'll feel different on this side. And the goal is to feel it more in the outer hips. Some of you, again, will feel it maybe in the lower back. Noticing if you're clenching your jaw to release it. Noticing if you're tension or have some tension in your forehead, just soften your forehead. You're already over a minute into this side. Softening your shoulders. My dear, where can you feel and release? If you'd like to go a little bit lower now by removing maybe a pillow or a prop in front of you, feel free to move it now and maybe sink a little bit deeper, or maybe stay exactly where you are. Coming back to that intention, staying in the moment, no matter where it is. This moment, your outer hips may be really feeling it. Notice if you can bring in gentleness, softness, forgiveness. Noticing maybe your body is saying it's time to move now, and that's when you're really starting to get into that connective tissue. So please just stay there unless you feel pain. If it's a slight stretching feeling, a little bit of uncomfort, that's all right. But if it's a pain that is maybe smaller than a thumbprint or a pain that is radiating up and down somewhere, perhaps coming out of this. But if it's just a nice stretch that you really feel, just stay in the moment with it. Coming into our first rebound, go ahead and take your hands, press them into the ground, pressing away, sitting up nice and tall. Our first rebound is going to be a 5-minute Shavasana. So go ahead and coming to your backs here, taking up space if you can, lying on the back, allowing hands to be on belly or wide. Noticing your first rebound. Certain meridians were just strained and now they're open. Maybe you feel a tingly sensation running up and down your hips to your legs. You have about another minute in your rebound. Permission to feel, permission to release. From here, start to wiggle toes and fingers. And go ahead and roll over to maybe your right or left side, pressing yourself up to a seated posture. We're going to come into a half saddle next. We're really moving your hip joint around the socket, so the acetabulum, we're really moving that head around into the hip. So hopefully you feel good after this. We're going to straighten our left leg out to start with. bring a bunch of pillows over to the right. Again, if you don't have a headboard or pillows behind you, stack them up. We'll be sitting up nice and tall. Draw this right knee in towards your chest. And take this right foot and take it out wider. To start with, bring your pillows to the inside of this right foot. And from here, drop the inside of this right knee to your pillows. Go ahead and adjust your foot as you see accordingly, or maybe even taking this out a little bit wider. If this feels like too much, try it with a lower or stack it up a little bit higher. Now, if none of this feels good to you, what you can do is flip this right foot on the top and maybe come a little bit more to the center rather than having it out. You decide. So are you here? Maybe take your knee out a little bit wider. You decide where's your edge. Now again, if this left leg is kind of bent, prop something up with it. Adjust your foot accordingly. I like to sit up nice and tall. Now please know that yin isn't supposed to be pretty. This is not supposed to be a pretty class. You are supposed to look different than everyone else. So with this, some people like to fold forward. So that's when you grab even more props, all the props in our yin, and maybe kind of fold forward a little bit. If this is no way in heck, sit up nice and tall. And at any point, if your knee starts to hurt, release this leg straight. It's all good. It's totally fine. Remember, coming to your 30%. Some of you may feel this in the left hamstring. Some of you may feel this in the right inner thigh. And some of you may feel this in the hip area. Just kind of depends. Knowing that you can adjust anytime you want. I constantly adjust in yin. And whoever has the most props wins. Over halfway there. Where do you feel it, and where can you release? If you are folding forward, if you'd like to take a pillow off and start to fold a little bit more, feel free to do that. You can even prop up your forehead with a pillow. From here, pressing yourself up, moving all the things aside. From here, take your hands and physically put them around this right leg and draw this knee back in towards your chest. Good. Straightening out this right leg. And then bringing the left knee into the chest. Awesome. From here, bring this left foot more out towards the left, creating some space. And this is when you can take your stack of pillows. And then you bring your inner knee towards this pillow. Good, starting to just adjust. I know I am. If you are sitting up nice and tall, feel free to stack up your pillows where you can just let your arms just dangle down just like this. If you'd like to take a fold, that's when you can start to stack up your pillows in front of you. Again, drawing them close in towards the belly. Most props wins. And then just allowing yourself again, let gravity do its work. Let your muscles totally surrender if you can. Coming to about 30% of your capacity. You could do more, but not yet. Maybe allowing your eyes to close. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, feeling free to remove a prop or two, or staying exactly where you are. Instead of doing what your ego is saying to do, which is to go lower, to do more, maybe just seeing what feels right to you. What feels right to you? Again, permission to feel and permission to forgive and release. Where can you soften? Where can your muscles disengage? Stop holding you up and allow you to just sink down. Can even your jaw relax? From here, go ahead and remove any props that you have. And take your hands around this left leg, using your arms to pull this knee in towards your chest here. And removing your props, coming into your second rebound. So putting a pillow underneath your head, allowing yourself to lay on your back and to feel again that tingling, electric, warm sensation in the front part of your body. Allowing your eyes to close and to let your muscles soften. From here, start to deepen your breath, wiggle toes and fingers. And roll over to your right or left side, maybe hovering in fetal posture for just a moment. And then pressing yourself up again to your last seated posture. Caterpillar or a seated forward fold is where we're going to next. So option 1 is to bring a pillow right underneath the glutes here. If you have tight hamstrings like me, this may help you. Option 2 is to not have one. You don't have to. Extend your legs forward. Now again, I've got some tighter hamstrings, so I'm going to bring something underneath my knees so there's no space. The next thing we're going to do is almost build like a hump right here for us to fold forward nicely into. So start to build that hump. Grabbing whatever it is you have. Again, yin isn't supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to be releasing. Feel good. And again, whoever has the most props wins. From here, either allow your forehead to drop down into your pillow, or if you prefer, you can bring your left or right cheek and rest it that way, allowing your arms just to dangle down. Again, we're at a 30% capacity here, so not going all the way. And allowing yourself, wherever you can, muscular-wise, to release. Adjusting as you need. Knowing that at any time, if this is hurting your lower back or anything of that nature, that you can always sit up nice and tall. And you do not have to fold forward. Even let your feet kind of flop open. Allowing the eyes to close. Where can you feel? Where can you release? If you have your left or right cheek on your pillow, go ahead and right now and flip it to the opposite cheek so your shoulders and your neck also get that equal balance. If you want to remove any props, you can do so now to come into a deeper expression. Again, making sure the story in your head isn't what's running the show. You're going by how it feels. From here, go ahead and take your hands on both sides of your legs. Press yourself up to a seat or to a tall spine and remove the props from on top of you. We're going to come into a rebound on our bellies for this one. So rolling onto your belly here. Maybe bringing a pillow with you and allowing your arms to wrap around and bring your right or left cheek to your pillow. And then feeling the rebound or that soft, warm, tingly sensation down the backs of your legs. From here, wiggle to fingers and toes. Option is to blink the eyes open. And then we're going to flip onto our backs with as little effort as possible. So just turning around, coming to your back for your last yin posture. From here, plant the feet behind the glutes. And then bring the knees into your chest. And then bring your knees over to the right. Go ahead and come to your side enough to let your knees come all the way down. Option is to stay here. Or option is to draw the knees even closer into the chest. The next option is to roll your arm over to the left, your left arm, and looking over your left shoulder, coming into your spinal twist here. Now, if this is too much, you can always either bring a pillow underneath the knees, a pillow in between the knees, and take your twist this way. Remember, coming into only your 30% capacity. You can do more. Where do you feel it? And you guessed it, where can you release? If you'd like to remove any props, feel free to do that now. If you'd like to come into a deeper expression, you take the bottom leg and you reach this leg further behind you. So I'm almost kicking this left knee back. My top knee stays where it's at. You may need to add a prop there. If you'd like, you can take this left arm that's extended, reach back with that bottom foot and grab a hold of that foot or the ankle. And again, continue to look over out towards the left. You have about a minute and a half longer to soften, to release. From here, releasing this twist and drawing the knees back to center, feet behind your glutes, dropping the knees over to the left, propping them up with a pillow if needed. And then extending your right arm, looking over your right shoulder. Your left hand can relax right on to the thigh or anywhere in your body that feels good. Your belly, maybe over to the side, you decide. Maybe allowing the eyes to close. If you'd like, you can release any props if you want to. Or take the bottom leg and maybe reach it behind you a little bit more. And if you want or can, taking your right hand, reaching for that ankle or foot, coming into maybe a deeper expression, allowing the left hand to rest wherever it's comfortable for you. We're here for about another minute or so. Allowing the eyes to close. From here, go ahead and drawing the knees back to center, feet behind the glutes once more, and then stretching your legs out straight for your final rebound, Shavasana. Nothing left to do here except for take up space if you need to give yourself permission to release, release, release. option is to end your class exactly where you are. Or if you'd like to end your class in fetal posture or a seated pose, go ahead and start to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe rolling over to your favorite side, ending class in the fetal posture. Or if you'd like, you can sit up nice and tall. If you're laying down or sitting up tall and you want to, you can bring your hands into heart center, pressing right palm against left palm, thumbs resting against the chest or the sternum area. Breathing breath, that prana, into your thumbs, reaching the chest up. Exhale, release out of the mouth. If you want, you can bring your thumbs in between the eyebrows, representing compassionate thoughts. Thumbs to lips, representing compassionate action, compassionate speech. And thumbs to heart center, representing compassionate actions. If you'd like, you can bow forward if you're in a seated position in a namaste, bowing to your inner teacher, that intuition. Thank you so much for practicing yin with me today. If it's nighttime, make sure to drink a glass of water before you go to bed, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you soon.